powerful Ottoman Empire is falling. Before we discuss this important news, we will have Bryn talk a bit on the history of the Ottoman Empire.
It has been one of the world's most dominant societies since 1301. It was created by nomadic Turkish tribes in Anatolia by founder Osman Bey, who saw themselves as the warriors of the Islamic faith. They grew powerful quickly, spreading to parts of Europe, Africa, and Asia. As the empire grew, they developed different social classes, including an elite army of janissaries and the devshirme, a bureaucracy and rivals with Christian territories. Muhammad the Conqueror conquered Constantinople, the most treasured city of the Byzantine Empire, using gunpowder. This made them a recognized. Back to you, Marley, talking about how such a powerful empire can fall.
All right, well, there are many factors that contributed to the end of the long reign of the Ottomans. These include internal government issues with their once seamless bureaucracy, such as corruption, economic difficulties, social unrest, and external conflicts. With all of these things occurring, World War I was the straw that broke the camel's back, or so to speak, ending the long reign of the Ottoman Empire. Breaking news, the powerful Safavid Empire is on the decline. Before we discuss the reasons for this abrupt decline, we will speak to Luann about the history of how they became so powerful in the first place.
Thank you, Mary. So the Safavid Empire began in Persia, which is present-day Iran. It existed from 1501 to 1736. The Safavid Empire began under the reign of Shah Ismail. He seized the region, including modern-day Iraq and Iran, and claimed himself the ruler. At the time, the Ottomans outlawed the Shia religion, so many Shia soldiers fled the Ottoman Empire to be able to worship in the Safavid Empire. In their empire, God was recognized as the supreme political leader. They were Shia Muslims, and they did not observe freedom of religion. And now we're going to have Mary talk a little bit about what's been going on with the fall of the Safavid Empire.
So, because they were such a strict theocracy, there were two main factors that contributed to their overall decline. One of these factors was the weakness in political hierarchy due to the fact that they observed God as the supreme political leader, and there was a lack of a system of hereditary succession for the political leaders in the Safavid Empire. Breaking news, the Finley News Network brings you the first look on the fall of the Mughal Empire and the events leading up to it. But before we go into that, Charlotte has some news for you about the history of the entire Mughal Empire and how it began in the first place.
Babur, a descendant of Tamerlane, founded the Mughal Empire in 1526. The Mughal Empire was famous for extraordinary art, music, literature, architecture, and many other cultural gifts throughout its existence. The Mughal Empire started when Babur, with the use of dominant artillery, defeated a far larger army of the Lotus at Panipat. After this, Babur's kingdom began to expand over a large region, including modern-day Afghanistan to the Bengal region. Back to you, Elizabeth. Can you tell about the recent events happening in the Mughal Empire?
So, the Mughals effectively ruled for about 150 years in the continent of India, but they tended to be behind in technological advancements in comparison to countries and regions like Europe and China. And so they began to decline because of the religious intolerance by their leaders, and this left this region very open to the predatory influence of European imperialism, causing the general decline of the entire empire. And we'll be right back to you after a message from our sponsor.
Are you getting tired of crossing the country in your lousy wooden carriage? Well, look no further. By purchasing this giant metal steamboat, that's right, you can cross the Pacific Ocean or have a nice relaxing suntan on the deck surrounded by seagulls and the smell of low tide. All from the view of your giant sinking boat. Purchase one today for only 873 easy payments of $19.99. Act fast, because we're going out of business tomorrow.
Hello, this is Annalisa. I'm Grace. We'll be talking about side stories and the biographies.
First, we have Ataturk, who was a Turkish army officer and founder of the Republic of Turkey, serving as its first president from 1923 until death. He was born in 1881 in the Ottoman Empire. When he was young, he was involved with the Young Turks, and it was a revolutionary group that removed the Sultan in 1909. That led the Turkish War of Independence and signed the Treaty of Lausanne.
Next, we have Tahmasp, who is a part of the Safavid dynasty. He was a political leader of the Safavid dynasty. He was born on March 3rd, 1514. His full name is Abul Muzaffar Abul Fath Sultan Shah Tabs bin Shah Ismail al-Safi al-Husseini al-Muzaffar. His father was Shah Ismail and his mother was Shah Bang Khanum, and had 12 siblings. He was an influential Shah of Iran, a son of successor of Ismail and the second of the Safavid dynasty. He successfully led an attack and invaded Persia, which led to wars with the Ottomans and Persians. He finally died in May 14th, 1576. Next, we have Akbar, who is a part of the Mughal Empire. He was born October 15th, 1452. He had 8 children and 11 siblings. Akbar was the 3rd ruler of the Mughal dynasty in India. His full name is Abul Fath Alauddin Muhammad Akbar, popularly known as Akbar the First and then Akbar the Great. He was enthroned at the age of 14, and he took leadership and expanded the Mughal Empire. He was the Mughal emperor from 1556 until his death in October 27th, 1605.
Now for the Ottoman Empire, we have the dynasty that exiled over 156 people belonging to the royal family who were all denied Turkish citizenship. This is because of a law that entered into force on March 3, 1924. This law even forbid them to pass through Turkey during transit. The people were told to liquidate their assets with only a year's time, and if it wasn't done by then, they would be seized by treasury. Sultan Mehmed soon went into exile after.
The region of Shah Abbas is a culture high point in the Safavid dynasty, where the arts, literature, poetry, and architecture? Yes, all developed. In 1598, Abbas moved his capital from Tabriz to Isfahan. The location is in the center of the empire and is situated on big trade routes. Then had a major building program to turn the city into a huge focal point for the empire. The Masjid-e-Jami Ali Kupa is the royal palace, the Masjid-e-Shah, the royal mosque, and the mosque of the Sheikh Lutifa, which is the private mosque of the Shah Abbas.
Now for the Mughals. The Taj Mahal began being built in 1632 by Shah Jahan. The Taj Mahal was built for his wife, who died tragically in childbirth only 3 years after. Shah became the Mughal Empire, and it was created as a form of a tomb for his beloved wife and is located on the banks of the Yamuna River. Amazingly, the temple took 22 years to build with an estimated 20,000 workers. Soon after, Shah was overthrown by his own son and imprisoned beside the Taj Mahal. It still stands to this day.
There are many Mughal gardens. They were built by the Mughals in a Persian style. Babur, the founder of the empire, had a favorite type of garden which was called and described as the Charbagh. The very first Charbagh garden in the Agra garden, also known as the Rambagh garden. The gardens are very complex and have a highly disciplined geometry. Thank you. That's all.
Breaking news reports from the townspeople that there is a strong chance the Solomon's second wife, Haram Sultan, has allegedly set his house on fire. There is much terror here in the empire as rumors spread around why she did it, but potentially to protect her power of her family and dynasty along with arson.
All right. So at this point, you may be wondering what empire was the ultimate quintessential empire. Depending on one's values, there could be potentially drastically different answers on this subject. But here today, we have Lindsay Jones as our guest, and she is an expert on these empires. So To determine the answer, we are going to interview her. And because this is such an opinion-based topic, we're interviewing her mainly on the empires in relation to their governmental structure, military power, and culture, including art, music, and architecture, etc. And we believe that these are very determinant in the superiority of a society in their dominance over a region. So while it could be still left up to opinion, we believe that these are a good way to kind of estimate which was the quintessential empire of this time. So, Lindsay, what can you tell us about the empires?
So the Ottoman Empire was, I would definitely say, is the quintessential empire because they had really superior military, and their government was very structured. It was a bureaucracy.
Oh, okay.
So that was just really
And that was different than the others. The
yeah,
others
that was,
had
yes.
not the same system.
Yes, they had different systems. They also had intricate architecture, and they were really famous for their art and music and just overall development in culture, which was very it was advanced for their time. And they also expanded across the greatest area of land in of when they were in power,
Right.
which was evidence of their dominance because they were
That's
just
true.
able to keep conquering more and more land throughout time.
And that would be evidence of their powerful military as well.
Yes, it would. They also spanned out. They were the longest spanning empire out of the gunpowder empires, which was the Safavid, Ottoman, and Mughal.
Right. Okay. And so I think that, that provides you with some facts to determine for yourself which was the most quintessential. But I think as far as we can conclude, the Ottoman Empire was the empire in respect to their military, governmental structure, and culture. Thank you very much, and thank you very much,